Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. It's your host, and today we're diving into the fascinating world of US coins with a focus on the 1974 Kennedy half dollar. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just someone curious about its value, this video will give you a closer look at the history and current circulated value of the 1974 Kennedy half dollar. So, let's get started. The Kennedy half dollar was first issued in 1964, just a few months after President John F. Kennedy's tragic assassination in November 1963. The U.S. Mint wanted to honor his legacy with a coin that would forever carry his image. The design, created by Gilroy Roberts, features a portrait of President Kennedy on the obverse and a modified version of the presidential seal on the reverse. The coin was initially minted in 90% silver, but starting in 1971, it was changed to a copper-nickel-clad composition due to rising silver prices. The 1974 Kennedy half dollar falls into that post-silver era, which makes it an interesting piece in the world of U.S. coinage. Let's take a closer look at the design of the 1974 Kennedy half dollar. On the front, or the obverse, we see President Kennedy's profile, facing left. The inscription reads, "Liberty," at the top, with the year of minting, 1974, at the bottom, and "In God We Trust," to the right of Kennedy's face. Flipping the coin over to the reverse side, we see a modification of the Great Seal of the United States. In this design, an eagle with outstretched wings holds a bundle of arrows and an olive branch in its claws. Above the eagle, we see the words, "United States of America," and below, "half dollar." The detail on these coins is quite sharp, and even though it's not made of silver after 1970, it still carries a classic appeal that makes it a must-have for many collectors. So, what's the value of a 1974 Kennedy half dollar today? In terms of circulated value, a coin that's been through many transactions, it's generally worth about its face value of 50 cents. That's right, even though this coin has a rich history, its current circulated value is tied to its role as a regular coin in circulation during the 1970s and beyond. However, there are a few key factors that can affect its value, including its condition, the mint mark, and any unique features that might make it more desirable to collectors. If you have a typical circulated coin, with some wear and light scratches, you might not see much more than the 50-cent value. But the condition of the coin matters a lot in the world of collecting. A coin in better condition, with fewer scratches and more detail in the design, will generally fetch a higher value, potentially up to $1 or more depending on demand. Now, if you're lucky enough to have an uncirculated 1974 Kennedy half dollar, that's where things get interesting. Uncirculated coins are those that have never been used in everyday transactions, so they still have that fresh, shiny appearance with no wear on the design. These coins can sell for anywhere from $2 to $4, or even more, depending on the market and the specific grade it's assigned. Another version you may come across is the proof coin. Proof coins are specially made for collectors, with a mirror-like finish and exceptional quality. A 1974 proof Kennedy half dollar in excellent condition can easily be worth $5 to $10 or more in the current market. You can easily spot a proof coin because of its ultra-refined surface, which gives it a glass-like quality. So, if you happen to find one of these, you might want to get it appraised by a professional. There are several factors that can influence the value of your 1974 Kennedy half dollar, especially if it's a coin that you think might be rare or unusual. The mint mark indicates where the coin was produced. For the 1974 Kennedy half dollar, you'll find coins minted in Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S, for proof coins. While there's no significant difference in value between these mints for this particular year, it's always good to check. As I mentioned earlier, coins in uncirculated or near-mint condition will be worth more. If you're unsure about how to grade a coin, it's a good idea to research or even take it to a professional coin dealer. While rare, coins with errors, like misstrikes or other imperfections, can also be worth more. If your coin has any unusual features, it could be more valuable to collectors looking for these kinds of specimens. If you're collecting Kennedy half dollars or just looking to add a 1974 coin to your collection, there's plenty of potential. It's not the rarest coin in the world, but it holds historical significance as part of the post-silver era and represents a piece of American history. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or just admire these coins, knowing a little about their background and value can make your collecting experience even more rewarding. That's all for today's deep dive into the 1974 Kennedy half dollar and its circulated value. I hope you found this information helpful, whether you're just starting out in coin collecting or you're an experienced numismatist looking to add to your collection. The Kennedy half dollar was first introduced in 1964, just a few months after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy on November 22, 1963. The U.S. Mint wanted to honor the legacy of the late president by creating a coin bearing his image. The Kennedy half-dollar replaced the Franklin half-dollar, which had been in circulation since 1948. The coin was introduced in early 1964, with the obverse featuring a portrait of President Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint. The reverse side featured the presidential seal, designed by Frank Gasparo, the Mint's chief engraver at the time. The original Kennedy half-dollar was composed of 90% silver and 10% copper, which made it especially valuable, particularly during a time of high silver demand. Due to a growing silver shortage and rising silver prices, the U.S. Mint stopped producing coins with significant silver content. From 1965 to 1970, the Kennedy half-dollar was minted with a clad composition, an inner core of pure copper, sandwiched between two outer layers of copper-nickel. Despite the change in metal composition, the design of the Kennedy half-dollar remained unchanged. The introduction of the copper-nickel-clad Kennedy half-dollar marked a new chapter in its history. Although the 1971 coin was still widely used in circulation, its value as a precious metal coin had diminished due to the reduction of silver content. The coin continued to be produced in high quantities throughout the 1970s and 1980s, but it gradually lost favor with the public as smaller denominations like the quarter and dollar took precedence in everyday transactions. In addition to regular circulation coins, special proof versions of the Kennedy half-dollar were produced, often used for collectors. These proof coins had a mirror-like finish and were sold in sets by the U.S. Mint. The U.S. Mint also produced a 40% silver version of the Kennedy half-dollar for collectors, especially in the 1970s, starting in 1971 for proof and 40% silver versions. By the 1980s, the Kennedy half-dollar had become largely a collector's item, and the coin was no longer widely used in everyday transactions. Despite the decline in circulation, the Kennedy half-dollar remains in production, though it is mostly produced for collectors rather than for regular circulation. In 2002, the U.S. Mint stopped producing the Kennedy half-dollar for regular circulation but still produces it in limited quantities for collectors. In 1999, a new reverse design was introduced as part of the U.S. Mint series of state commemorative quarters. The design featured an eagle with its wings outstretched, with the words United States of America above and half-dollar below. There have been no major changes to the obverse design since its introduction in 1964, although there have been slight modifications over the years to account for changes in minting techniques and technology. The Kennedy half-dollar remains one of the most iconic U.S. coins. It is a symbol of the 1960s, of President John F. Kennedy's presidency, and of the tumultuous yet hopeful time that followed his tragic assassination. Despite not being a major circulation coin today, the Kennedy half-dollar is still produced in limited quantities and is beloved by coin collectors worldwide. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts or any tips you have about collecting coins like the Kennedy half-dollar. Till next time, keep collecting, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video.